Here I am, once again, so let's continue. We arrive at the school gates. Most of the lights in the school building are out, so I presume that the only ones left on are for the guards. According to the clock outside the courtyard, it's 7:30.
ドキドキするね。
Indeed, my heartbeat is speeding up from the anxiety.
私はワクワクのドキドキだよ。
You're the class representative, so are you sure it's fine?
ようちゃんしつこいよ。私は今を大切に生きるクラス委員なんだから。
It seems like Asuho is the Chinami type, which is definitely not a bad type.
一直線に部室向かって電気はつけないで望遠鏡を持って一直線に帰ってくる。OK?
I do have some objections, but okay.
それじゃミッションスタート。
Her sudden cry gives me chills all over.
夜の校舎って初めて。
If there's a first time, there'll definitely be a second and a third.
こんな危ない橋何度も渡れるわけないよ。
Do we even have a sense of danger? Thanks to the sky clearing up, we rely on the light seeping in through the windows to guide us through the corridor.
足音が響くね。
Try to soften your footsteps as much as possible and keep your voice down too. I want to get to the club room quickly, but we don't have any choice but to take our time. This is tormenting.
なんか肝試しみたいだね。
In this case, it's not the ghosts, but the guards whom we should be afraid of.
そうかな。私たち以外の足音とかピアノの音とか聞こえた方が怖いかも。
Or having the eyes and the painting in the music room move.
学校の七不思議って感じだね。ひばり校だと死神の都市伝説になってるけど。
It's kind of like a ghost story, huh? If I think of them that way, I can imagine why they spread so easily.
私ホラー映画とか苦手なんだよね。でもテレビでやってると怖いもの見たさでつい見ちゃうの。
It's still not too late to turn back, you know. Why is she so stubborn tonight? We quietly climbed the flight of stairs. The club room is on the first floor. When we arrive on the first floor, I hear some noises. Asuho, stop! I grab onto Asuho's arm as she was about to walk into the corridor and drag her back towards the stairs. Be quiet for a second. Straining my ears, I can definitely hear something. Most likely footsteps. There's someone up ahead. I stick out my head from the shadows. Hey, it's Aoi. What's she doing here so late at night? I can see the outline of a person in the distance. And what is she holding? I can't tell who the person is clearly due to the darkness. Is it a guard on patrol? Must be a pretty small guard. Though I don't see any light from a torch. It's part of a guard's image to carry torches with them. An idea hits me in an instant. It must be the Grim Reaper in Hibariko's urban legends. Of course not, right? Even when I squint, I can only just make out their figure. Eventually, the shadow disappears. The footsteps are becoming fainter. The person probably went either up or downstairs. I released the air that had accumulated in my lungs. Hey, did you see that figure just now? I look back at Asuho. She is huddling up to me in silence. I can feel her trembling from where we are connected. It's only just then that I realize that we're a bit too close to each other. Rather, I've been holding Asuho by her shoulders. Her face is almost buried in my chest. Wah! Don't scream! I jump back with a yell of surprise. Asuho has her head down. I couldn't see her expression in the darkness as her face is covered by her fringe. Sorry about that. That's the only thing I can say at this point. She's mumbling something, but I can't hear her clearly.
びっくりした。
I can hear her clearly this time. She produces a very timid voice, much different from her usual self. I'm really sorry about that. She doesn't say anything, but after a short while, she moves closer to me.
誰かいたの？
She looks up at me avertedly. Yeah, I don't know if it was a guard or not, but we should hurry to the club room. Asuho gives an understanding nod.
頼りになるね、ようちゃん。
I can hear a hint of embarrassment in her tone. That was my bad just then. I apologize a third time. She probably liked it. Her voice was just as embarrassed as mine. We uneventfully arrive at the club room, grab the telescope, and successfully leave the school building. The telescope in its carrying case was heavier than I thought, and as a result slowed us down considerably on our way out. But thanks to Asuho walking ahead and checking every corner, we didn't run into anyone. We didn't meet that person we saw earlier either. After coming out of the school, we head up towards the lookout using that trail. Seeing me in danger from falling over into the muddy puddles left by the rain, Asuho supports me with all her might. She trudges forwardwards, grabbing onto my arm. It's as if we're locking arms. Trying not to knock over the case, which had the telescope lens in it, was a difficult feat. According to Asuho, if we knock it around too much, the optical axis of the lens will lose focus and will be a pain to fix. At least that was the gist of it. At any rate, I have to protect the telescope at all costs. While Asuho is watching out for me as I protect the telescope. Supporting each other, we set our sights ahead. Past the forest, a countless number of stars are waiting for us. Oh, it's that CG again. It's unusually clear after the rain, and the sky is filled with an unbelievable number of radiating stars. Almost like a flood of stars. I feel dizzy at the swirls as if we are being sucked in. I removed the strap around my shoulder and set down the case. What would the sky look like through the telescope lens? I'm looking forward to it, yet afraid at the same time. Mare had said it before, too much of something beautiful eventually becomes grotesque. Is that so? In other words, it means that it's scary. I can half understand the mindset those words were spoken from. Asuho brings out a picnic rag from her bag and spreads it on the damp ground. She hands me the object she takes out of her bag. You brought the binoculars? As with telescopes, this was also my first time using binoculars. How do I use this? You look through them. I sit on the rack and position the binoculars up to a random group of stars. I adjust the two rings, one for the focus and one for the visibility. I try to point my narrow field of vision in that direction. I slowly get the focus adjusted. In the instant that the image becomes clear, my pupils get filled with the dazzling light. That's right. This is a kaleidoscope. Pointing at the Milky Way, I slowly shift the field of vision, watching the stars pop up from various angles. It's exactly the same as what I told Mare. I was only guessing, but this is indeed a kaleidoscope. A tool which brings people back to their innocent childhood. Asuho was crouching down in front of the case. She appears to be assembling the telescope. I look back at the sky through the binoculars because I'll probably get in the way if I try to help out. In Greek mythology, the Milky Way was formed by the breast milk of Hera, Zeus' mother-in-law. That's why it took on the name Milky Way in English. From a scientific perspective, it's said that the Milky Way is what a galaxy would look like from the side. Our solar system is but a mere part of the galaxy known as the Milky Way. We were born into this kaleidoscope of lights. Raising my head, I see Asuho standing in front of me. She bends over towards me. Is she done with the preparations? How should I put this? A masterpiece? Asuho looks pleased. You haven't finished setting it up?
あとは待つだけだけどね。
Wait?
反射式の望遠鏡はね、外に持ち出すときは30分くらい外気に慣らさないとなんだよ。じゃないと温度差とかの関係で鏡頭の中の空気が乱れちゃってうまく見えないんだ。
You're very knowledgeable. I'm impressed.
お昼はようちゃんが家庭教師だったけど、夜は私が星見の先生だね。
Though you kind of failed this afternoon.
夜のようちゃんが赤点取らないことを祈ってるよ。
She sits down beside me and looks into the sky while hugging her knees.
やっぱりいいなここ。どうしてもっと早く来なかったんだろう。
Yeah, I guess this place was sealed off a long time ago.
私が展望台の存在知った時にはもうフェンスが立ってたから。だからようちゃんが羨ましい。子供の時にもこの星空を眺めたようちゃんが羨ましいよ。
This lookout hasn't changed even now. There may be a fence, but the view hasn't changed at all. The girl from the lookout also liked the starry sky that Asuho likes. My past self had also liked it. That hasn't changed. The sky hasn't changed. It remains there unchanged. The only things that have changed are the ones looking up at it. Us. Everyone has grown up, but it feels as if the only thing that has truly changed is the flow of time around us. Now that I think about it, Mare certainly has that feel to her. She said she didn't have an age, and like the sky and the lookout, she is still the same as before. I stand up to take a look around the place.
どうしたの？
Seeing me stand up, Asuho follows suit. Just checking to see if someone's there. I walk off. I don't see Mare's figure. Is she still not here? I take a look around the darker areas. It turns out that Mare was nowhere to be found.
ようちゃん。
When I arrived back, Asuho had a troubled expression.
もしかして展望台の彼女さん？
Nope.
隠さなくたっていいよ。気持ちわかるから。
Is that so?
うん。
Something about the atmosphere tells me I shouldn't tell her I'm looking for someone different.
大丈夫だよ。いつか絶対出会えるよ。
She smiles at me. Feeling guilty, I avert my gaze.
そろそろかな。
Asuho crouches down and grabs her bag. She takes out several objects from the bag and lays them down onto the picnic rack. What are those?
製図と方位磁石と、あとは明るくなりすぎないようにセロハンをかぶせた懐中電灯。
Facing the vast star-filled sky, Asuho raises her voice.
始めよっか。望遠鏡を使った私たちの星見。
I give a nod to Asuho. I decide to observe the stars with Asuho whilst I wait for Mare.
おかえりなさい。お友達の家は楽しかった？
Yeah, sorry for coming back this late. It's already 11.
連絡もらってたし、謝らなくたっていいのよ。
I notice something as I'm taking my shoes off. Oh, where's Chinami? Normally, she would have made a noisy entrance by now.
ようちゃんに報告があるって言って、さっきまで起きてたんだけど。
Something to report? Onshino gives me a gentle smile.
リビングで寝ちゃったの。お部屋に運んだから、今はベッドの中よ。
Today was a day off, so she's probably all worn out from playing too much.
今日、お隣さんの家で遊んでたんですって。それをようちゃんに話したかったみたい。
If only she didn't cause any trouble for them.
ちなみちゃんなら大丈夫よ。
Where does her confidence come from? I get back to my room after taking a shower. I lie down on the bed and stare absent-mindedly at the ceiling. That's not the ceiling, it's the window. My first stargazing experience was very interesting. It was chasing the stars and planets endlessly. Asuho was commentating on the stars beside me. Though if anything, Asuho was having more fun than me. She wasn't going back home even past 10. It took all of my energy to persuade her into leaving. I ended up carrying the telescope back to her house, while making a promise for another stargazing session tomorrow. Asuho might actually like the stars more than she did. In the end, Mare didn't appear. I occasionally took my eyes off the telescope to glance at my surroundings, though I didn't find any signs of others being there. This might have been the first time she hasn't appeared on a clear night. Why, I wonder? Was it because Asuho was there? Is there a chance that my hallucinations don't appear when I'm around others? Mare's existence, is she really something I created from my memories of the girl from the lookout? Was it because when Asuho was beside me, I forgot about her and didn't have to cling onto my delusions? Crap, this is a convenient argument. It's just that Mare said she'll read my memories when I'm not immersed in them. If Mare only appears when I'm being engulfed in my own recollections, that would make it impossible for her to sever them. A contradiction, a flaw in my hallucinations. So she isn't just any old delusion. Mare exists. I come to this conclusion using that contradiction. It's the next day. July 15th. Good morning to you too. Jinami gets up when it's almost lunchtime. You always sleep past noon on days off, so this is quite rare. She walks unsteadily towards the table and sits down with her forming a thin line. It's typical of her to start being annoying early in the morning on weekdays. What I talk about, she's never annoying, but her weakness with mornings shows during times like these on weekends. You slept early last night, so that might be why you're up earlier than usual. I roast the coffee and place it in front of her. What are you going to have? I was just about to make lunch. Do you have any requests? Does she want to eat me? She leaves her seat from the table and totters over to the kitchen. She passes me a kitchen knife with the blade pointed at me. I'll handle it, so sit down or you'll get hurt. Looks like I'm the one who is going to get hurt. You want pasta and corn soup? Does she really want to set me straight with a kitchen knife? While I'm boiling the pasta in the saucepan, Chinami aimlessly wanders around with a knife in her hand. The kitchen becomes total chaos when Onshino joins in with her feather duster. When the two ran into each other, they started a sword fight. I decided to turn a blind eye. By the time I finished making lunch, the two had gone back to normal. Shino-san, you're up pretty early today.
仕事の方が落ち着いてきたから本当はもっと早く起きてご飯を用意したかったんだけど。しのさん、朝弱いんですから無理しなくていいですよ。
You don't have the right to tell that to others.
ちなみが寝坊するのは小豚目覚ましが反抗期に入ったからだよ。真のちなみは早寝早起きのはずだからね。
I don't think the real Chinami will ever show herself.
それより聞いてお兄ちゃん。ちなみ昨日は葵ちゃんと遊んでたんだよ。
Oh, is that so?
葵ちゃんだけじゃないんだよ。なんと葵ちゃんの妹の鈴葉ちゃんとも仲良くなったんだよ。
Is that so?
そうなんだよ。
I sympathize with Aoi-san.
お兄ちゃんの発言はなんでいつもネガティブなの？
It's better to be too positive than too negative.
それでね、今日はこの家に葵ちゃんと鈴葉ちゃんを招待するんだよ。
Kidnapping is a crime, you know.
招待って言ったでしょ。それじゃあおやつにスコーン焼いてあげるわね。わーい。
Thanks, Chino-san. You're very thoughtful. To think that you could even come up with drugging Chinami to sleep.
お兄ちゃんはちなみを何だと思ってるの？
A nuclear warhead, of course.
どういう意味なの？ちなみちゃんがいるとみんな仲良しになるって意味よね。
Onshino has a different interpretation.
冷戦って言うと言葉は悪いけど、だけどちなみちゃんにはそれくらいの力があるの。そうでしょ、ようちゃん。
I end up nodding at Aunt Ishino's glance.
褒められちゃった。
Chinami starts eating her mayonnaise-topped pasta. Well, whatever works. I'll start digging in too.